Do you wish you could walk outside more often, but that nagging knee pain is keeping you at home? Maybe you've seen other people doing well out and about using a rollator. They've got the brakes, a seat, storage, big swiveling wheels for outdoor surfaces, and they also fold up for portability. But maybe you've tried a traditional rollator like this one and it just doesn't give your knees the support they need. If this at all sounds like you, then the byACRE rollators might be a more supportive and practical option for you for a rollator to use in the community. During this video, I'll be demoing the Carbon Ultralight from byACRE, which is one of their 4 models of rollators and is probably their most popular model. It is also currently the lightest rollator on the market. It's only 10.6 pounds. That's just one of the benefits. But in this video, we're going to focus on why this rollator might be a better option for those of you who have more significant knee pain and maybe something like a traditional rollator just hasn't been doing the job. My name's Dr. Chuck, physical therapist in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and my goal on this channel is to bring you practical mobility tips and tools to keep you moving with confidence. Quick heads up, this is not medical advice. If you are pursuing a walker, rollator, or any other mobility device, make sure you check with your physical therapist or doctor first. I am an affiliate of byACRE and I do earn commissions at no extra cost to the buyer. In fact, if you stick around to the end of this video, I'll show you how to get 10% off the Carbon Ultralight or any of byACRE's other rollators. So stick around till the end. Let's dive into the video, shall we? So like I said, in this video, I'm going to be talking about why the byACRE rollators are potentially a better option for people with more significant pain when the traditional rollators aren't doing the job. Before I explain the specifics as to why byACRE may be better, we got to go back to the basics, and I want you to understand how these traditional walkers support your knees, okay? So we're going to be going over the traditional rollator here and the standard walker over here. For purposes of simplicity, I'm going to call this the 2-wheeler and the 4-wheeler.
I got the ATVs right out back.
We got the 4-wheeler and then the 2-wheeler. This is this is a standard walker that many of you have seen before. It's got the 2 wheels on the front here, okay? I do have links to both of these walkers down in the description. They're both on Amazon, very inexpensive. If you just need a basic rollator, this one's about 54 bucks at the time of this video, and this one's about 28 bucks. I had no idea both of these were that cheap. All right, so if we think about walking for a second without a walker, nothing to hold on to, okay? When you're walking, if we freeze the frame right here, as I'm bringing this foot forward, there's that moment where I lift that foot up and my entire 100% of my body weight is going through one of my legs. And for those of you that have pretty significant knee pain, that is the point of your gait cycle that can be most painful. And maybe some of you experience knee buckling or something like that, right? So that's why some of us use a walker to take some of that body weight percentage off of our knee and through our arms. As far as ones with wheels, the 2-wheeler here, this is the most stable. The wheels don't swivel, so when you put weight through it when you're walking, okay, if you're trying to take some pressure off your knee, it's very solid. It's very solid. It's going to support your knee the best of any walker with wheels, okay? I'm just showing you that when I put my full body weight on this thing, it's not moving, okay? Now, as I walk with the 2-wheeler, you should be able to see that my posture looks pretty good. The handles here are right next to my hips pretty much throughout the entire gait cycle, okay? And most importantly, you should see that I am able to stand inside the frame of the walker, okay? So as I walk, I'm gonna freeze right here. The frame of the walker is pretty much surrounding me, and every time I take a step, I'm able to plant it inside the walker, pretty much in the middle. I'm talking about front to back here. And I'll do that again just so you can see how up inside the walker I am able to be. When you're standing inside the frame, as you can see that this person's body is relatively inside the frame. When you're standing inside and you're pushing straight down through your arms, I'm gonna show you here with this arrow, their angle of force is nearly straight down. It's angled slightly this way. And when they do that, the ground pushes back up at an equal and opposite force. That's called a ground reaction force. And what that does is it lifts your body up a little bit and takes some pressure off your knee. All right, so next let's take a look at the 4-wheeler in terms of stability for somebody's knee when they're walking. Now, you might notice that as I'm walking with this, I'm not really inside of the base of support. I mean, my feet are a little bit, but if I pause right now, most of the walker is out in front of me, okay? Now, I can get up inside it, but if I try and stay here, my legs are gonna be hitting the seat, okay? So that's one key difference between the four-wheeler and the two-wheeler is you can't really stand inside the frame. If you don't want your legs to hit the seat, you pretty much have to be back here a little bit, okay? And then that's how you walk. The other difference is that the handles on the two-wheeler, they were able to maintain right about here. On the four-wheeler, because you can't be inside of it and you don't want to hit the seat, you're kind of out here. So not only are the handles outside here, but the frame is more in front of you. It's not really surrounding you. Okay. Now there might be somebody watching this that walks a little bit differently than I am, and they might be getting up on top of the walker, and therefore now they are pushing straight down. They're bringing their trunk and shoulders over top of it, but not necessarily their hips, so that they are able to walk without hitting the seat, okay? Now, I'm not gonna tell you what to do or don't do, you know, with your device, but I will say that if you walk like this for a long period of time, it's a lot of stress on your shoulders. It's not really comfortable. There's a lot of pressure going through my hands right now. So yes, I can nearly replicate similar support of the two-wheeler by walking like this, but I don't think it's a very good idea is what I'm saying. And when you put a lot of weight through these four-wheelers, a lot of the weight goes through the back wheels since you're not up inside it and it's not evenly distributed. So there's more pressure through the back wheels, less pressure through the front wheels, which lends to them going like this. And when you put a lot of pressure through these four-wheelers, you get that feared runaway rollator incident. I'm sure some of you have experienced that. I know us physical therapists are traditionally always like, no, you can't use these. They're gonna run away from you. And you know, for some people that's true, for some people it's not. But yes, when you put a lot of weight through these, because they're out in front of you, you're at risk of the runaway rollator. You can see the rollator is more out in front of the person. And when they push down to get a little bit of support through their arms, the force is more angled this way versus over here, it's more down, okay? So because it's more angled this way, not only does that put this walker more at risk of going forwards, the ground reaction force comes up here. So you do get a little bit of arm support, but it's not as much as this angle over here. Now, if you have minimal knee pain and you just are lightly putting a little bit of pressure through this rollator, this might be just enough to take some pressure off your knee. So I'm not saying you can't use these four-wheelers for any knee pain. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. This might be an option, but if you need a little bit more support, this might not do the job and maybe you've already experienced it. The Carbon Ultralight from byACRE essentially combines the stability of the two-wheeler with the perks of the four-wheeler, okay? It pretty much has all of the features that traditional rollators have. It's got brakes, it's got a seat, it has storage options. This is just one of the bags here. There's 5 different bags to choose from. It's got the swiveling wheels, and it has all of that without sacrificing the stability similar to two-wheelers. Now, let me be clear. These aluminum walkers are definitely the most stable, okay? They're even more stable than the Carbon Ultralight if you're really wanting to put a lot of force through your arms. But the Carbon Ultralight and the other byACRE rollators do have similarities in terms of stability to the two-wheeler that make it a better option for significant knee and joint pain compared to the traditional rollator, and I'm gonna explain that to you. All right, so I'm walking with the Carbon Ultralight here, and you should notice 2 things that are similar to the two-wheeler. Number 1, you should notice that I'm able to step inside the frame more compared to the traditional rollator, okay? So if I freeze the frame right here, you should see that my leg, front to back, is more in the middle, therefore supported by the whole frame and getting more of that vertical ground reaction force. Also, that helps with that is the fact that the handles are close to my body. So I'm able to walk inside the walker and give a little bit of more downward pressure without kicking the seat. So another thing I want to touch on is safety with both of these rollators. And if you think about earlier in the video when we were talking about that feared, famous, well, infamous runaway rollator disaster that can happen with these rollators, especially when you're putting some more weight through it with your arms to take pressure off your knees. Because this rollator is more out in front of you, when you lean on it, it can shoot out, right? Well, that's because the rollator is out in front of you, and that's because of the angle of the pressure through your arms. But with the Carbon Ultralight here, because I'm more inside it, and because my force of pressure is more downwards, because of that, it's much less likely for this to happen. Of course it could, but it's much less likely. Also, I think I was saying earlier in the video, when I'm putting pressure down through the traditional rollator, more of it goes through the back wheels and less through the front wheels, which leaves those front wheels, which are the swiveling ones, free to move around more slickly, which can be unsafe for some people, right? So let me show you now with the Carbon Ultralight. When you push down, more of the weight is more evenly distributed from the front and back wheels. So there's more pressure going through those front wheels than the traditional rollator. Thus, it essentially tames those wheels more and keeps them more in contact with the ground. And so you still get a nice smooth turning and steering experience, but it's not as slick and it's not as jerky, I would say, as the traditional rollator. So therefore, it's a little more safe, especially when you're putting some pressure through your arms. So to recap, the Carbon Ultralight essentially combines the features of a traditional rollator, the seat, the brakes, the swiveling wheels, the storage capabilities, which again, I don't have the bags available right now, but you can check their website. There's 5 different storage bags that attach on the front here, and they hang straight down without your legs coming in contact with them. And not to mention, super easy folding, okay? And it is the lightest rollator on the market. I mean, that alone is just so valuable, right, to people and also caregivers for loading it in and out of a vehicle. But anyway, you get all of those features of a traditional rollator, but you also get that stability, that nice, more vertical ground reaction force that two-wheeled walkers have, the traditional two-wheeled walkers, all in one walker. byACRE does have a 30-day trial period. So, if you order one and you try it and it doesn't support your knee as much as you wish it would, you can return it, no problem. If anybody knows of any other rollators out there that provide similar knee support to the byACRE rollator, please drop a comment down below in the bottom of the video. I'd love to learn. I'm always loving to learn what pieces of technology are out there to get people moving more. If you want 10% off the Carbon Ultralight or any of byACRE's rollators, you can DM me on Instagram at mobilephysiopgh, or you can shoot me an email. That contact information is in my profile, and it's also down below in the description. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I've got more videos coming out about the byACRE rollators and many more tools, mobility tools and devices to help you keep moving and stay independent and stay confident as much as we can. Thanks for watching and have a great day.